Welcome back, Stupid Fast Nation. How are you guys doing today? Bringing you guys back for another episode with the Raptor 660. Today we're gonna dive in, tear that top end off and see what's going on. So first up, let's take a look at what's going on here on the table. Most of the parts have come in. We'll start over here on my right with the battery, the Caltric battery we got off of eBay for $41. This thing is incredible. We've got that on the charger, waiting to go. We've got the thumb throttle up here in my front. And I'll tell you what, looking at this thumb throttle, I'm not overly impressed with the quality of this thing, but for 15 bucks on eBay and 2-day shipping, I mean, what can you really expect here, guys? It's not a billet Cascade Innovations throttle or something like that, you know? Also in front of me here, we have the rubber mounts for the neutral light and key switch. And I'll tell you what, guys, I have been reading all of your comments and all the messages I've been getting on my Instagram, Stupid Fast John. I'll tell you what, a guy reached out to me. He told me some upgrades he had for his Raptor 660 to get rid of the center plastic piece on his handlebars, and that was relocating the key switch and the neutral and reverse lights to the front plastic there where the radiator cover is. That might be something I'm looking to do in the future, but for now we're just gonna go ahead and put the rubber mounts on in this video. Also up here on my left, I have the metal plate mount for the reverse switch. This will stabilize that switch so we can properly use reverse and engage and disengage it. And then over here to my far left, I have the Cometic top end gasket kit. One of my favorite companies to use for gasket kits. Everything's here for us to be able to tear the top end and exhaust off of this thing and have all new seals ready to go. So guys, before I get knees deep and dig into this thing, I definitely wanted to say thank you to everybody who watched the entire Quad Wars series. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. If you guys are interested in that kind of content, make sure you drop the like, share, subscribe. Make sure to hit that bell, turn the notifications on, and hit all underneath the bell. Also, keep an eye out. The next series of Quad Wars is going to be here on my channel, Stupid Fast John. Me and Mike Sabo are going to be comparing a Predator 500 versus the Raptor 660. We're both going to do some modifications to both of the ATVs. I think it's going to be a really exciting and fun series. If there's something you guys want to see different in the next series, let us know in the comments below. We watch and read all the comments and hear you guys out. So don't be afraid to drop a comment and let us know what you think. All right, guys, so enough chit chat. Let's go ahead and get started tearing this Raptor 660 apart. All right, guys, so first things first, we're gonna go ahead and get this old crappy, cruddy chain off the front of this thing. And then we're gonna take this old nasty chain and we're gonna put it right on the shelf to reuse it because it's actually a really good chain. But the lock can eat shit. Alright guys, so the very first thing we gotta do is remove the front plastics and the seat in order to get to the head on this Raptor 660. So let's go ahead and get those off. Ain't even any clips holding this thing on. Half of these aren't even being held on by anything. How did I not lose these going down the road at 60 plus? Oh yeah, I almost did lose this going down the road. And I got lucky and it sat right down in the Nerf bars going about 60 down the highway. Now guys, these are actually really simple to remove. You've got two 10mm bolts up in the front on each side. You have one in the very front bottom. You have two up along the sides, and then you have two clips, I believe. Or no, those are actually bolts that go down into the frame. And then this entire front clip should pop right off pretty much in one piece. But in our case, we have like two bolts holding it on, so, you know. Alright guys, now that we got the carburetors off, all the front plastics off, now we can jump into part of disassembling the top end of the engine. We're going to start by draining the coolant. We've got 2 radiator hoses, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to the exhaust, and then we'll jump into the actual cylinder head itself. So let's go ahead and get that coolant drained. Alright guys, then next up, we're going to go ahead and remove these exhaust bolts and get this header off. Guys, a little quick tip, sometimes these nuts don't come off right away because previous people that have had them off may not have put anti-seize or anything to help you get these off. So what you want to do, sometimes you just need to take a little heat, like a propane torch or a heat gun, and heat up the cylinder head around the bolts, and then that sometimes will help you break these loose. Also, you know, penetrating oil like PB Blaster or WD-40 will also help break the threads loose and lubricate them as well. Alright guys, and now that we got the exhaust off, got the coolant drain, got everything else ready to go, now we can start taking off the cylinder head and dig into the top end of this and see what's wrong. Alright guys, so what I didn't take the time to show you guys on camera was the struggle that I had getting this cam cover off. I'll tell you, pro tip guys, always look the four-wheelers over that you're buying. Look them over very, very well and make sure there's nothing crazy going on. I'll tell you, this one being in non-running condition, they were definitely trying to get into the top of this cam cap because 6 of the bolts were completely stripped. And there's only 2 ways I know to get them out. And I'll tell you the one way, you're not gonna like it. You gotta take the motor out, you gotta drill them out, pop them off, and then you should be able to turn them off with a vice grip or channel locks. The second method, other than using an easy out, because you could do an easy out method, but a lot of times easy outs break, and once a hardened steel bit breaks inside of that hole, yeah, you ain't getting it out. These ones were so tight. What I did was, you see a welder behind me, I actually welded little beads on top of them, and I have a little tiny Irwin vice grip with really sharp teeth on it. I put that on the weld and then was able to break them loose. Once I broke them loose, I was able to twist them off. So we will have to order a brand new bolt kit for the top of this cam cover, but you know what? 2.5 hours later, I finally got this thing off, man. Finally got this cover off. So, all right, guys, on to the next thing. Let's inspect the inside there. I have not looked at it yet. Let's see what's going on. All right, guys, so first glance here, it really does not look that bad. It definitely looks like an aftermarket cam of some sort, but we're gonna take this out. We're gonna take the tensioning mechanism off, and then we're gonna take this cam out and check everything out real quick. So let's go ahead. Alright guys, and a neat little trick here for the timing chain is once you get the timing chain off of the cam, you could take a clothes hanger or a zippy tie and run that through the chain and around the frame, and that'll hold the chain in place so it doesn't fall down inside the case on you. Sometimes you get lucky and there's enough play to slip the cam gear out here, but this one I don't think has enough play, so we might have to go ahead and remove the gear off the front. And then we just get the other side off. Be very careful taking this out. And that there will temporarily hold this cam chain in place for you guys, so then you can remove them out of the way. All right, guys, and last but not least, we just have to remove the last couple head bolts, hopefully not stripping anything else out. Man, they really over tighten these. Mike would be having a field day with these and them not being torqued properly. Oh man. All right, guys, so my first impression of this is obviously it looks like there's little to no runtime on this at all. I will say I cannot tell if it's a forged JE or Weisco or not. There's no numbers on the top of it. I just see a little arrow there, which makes me think that it is a Chinese brand of some sort. So we might actually have to rip this cylinder off. I definitely want to see, because if it's a Chinese piston, I definitely don't want to run Chinese garbage. So let's go ahead and take the cylinder off quick. Okay guys, first glance, that is a Weisco crank. It does say on the side of that Weisco. There's like no play in it, and you can see it looks literally like brand new. The piston definitely looks like Chinese generic junk, so we are gonna toss that and get a real name brand piston for it, so. Alright guys, so after tearing the top end off this thing, you can clearly see that this is a Chinese piston. This must be the eBay kit that Niche sells with the Chinese piston. I'm not satisfied with Chinese. It does have a Weisco crank in it, which is a huge bonus. And it looks like brand new, which means we shouldn't have to worry about anything. There's no heat spots or anything at all like that on it. The top end looks good, just that one case thread we have to clean up, possibly Healy coil. I gotta take a more in-depth look at that. Other than that, the rest of the quad looks great. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that stuff on order. We're gonna call it good on this video. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that like, share, don't forget to subscribe, and turn the bell on for notifications if you wanna see the future videos and the future series of Quad Wars. As always, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Peace!